And, I mean, they normally start piling in at 1:45, so I just like to set up the streaming. Let's do it with Nathan. You know Nathan?
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
So you're not taking over then this week then?
Taking over? What do you mean by taking over?
That he took over last time.
Well, a bit like,
when you lot went to Stratford, wherever he is.
Yeah, so it's Streatham.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we're sort of hosting it.
Yeah.
So there's already somebody here.
Oh, what, they're waiting already, are they?
You normally get somebody Mark's early. Hello, Mark. Hello, Mark.
Morning, Kevin.
Morning. Okay?
How are you this morning?
I'm not too bad. In yourself, Mark?
I'm not too bad myself. Yeah.
Yeah. You're in Edgware now, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not far from you. I'm in Edgware. I'm towards Cannons Park, that part of Edgware.
Yeah. Yes.
Whereabouts are you again, Mark, in Edgware?
I'm near the Edgware station.
Near where the Mazzolti is.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh God, because I'm surprised because I normally go there every day, sort of thing, for various reasons.
Oh.
Yeah. I often walk down, the alleyway by where the Mazzolti is.
Yes. I used to live down that way actually. I've just moved into one of the new flats, and I didn't quite expect a lot of problems. And yes, that's all I can say. Is yes.
Okay, good to hear.
It's a bit crazy, but I think it's called early days.
Okay, right, fair enough. Mark, you're not on the screen. It's funny. I can only see a little bit of you.
No.
Or maybe you're not quite ready. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Because it's a joint service today. It's with the South London community.
South London, right? Okay.
I did those.
Just take a photo of the plant with the leaves or bud inside the frame.
You don't actually follow that
No.
Hello, we got Rachel. No, Heachy arrived.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. We got Mark in nice and early as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Mark.
Morning, Matt.
Yeah.
Have you made me a co-host, Kevin?
Yeah, okay, thank you. I normally do that instinctively, but I'm a bit slow off the mark. There you are. Consider yourself co-hosted, and you'll be doing all the screen sharing as per usual.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick practice.
Yeah, good. It's always helpful.
That all right?
Yep. Oh, yes. And I know they have Torahs underneath it as
Yep,
well.
it
So
is.
exciting. It's a nice
Absolutely.
feeling, actually.
And final song. Good. Yeah, all sorted. So they're both there.
Lord knows what. Oh, gosh. So
Good.
we're all set. I've done the live streaming, so just waiting for everyone to sort of turn up. Hopefully, they've remembered to move the clocks.
I hope so.
I did get confused this morning when obviously my wristwatch wasn't changed. Oh, it's not that early, is it? Yeah. Oh, they're all coming in now. Rush hour.
Hag Sameach, everybody.
Thanks,
Hello, Adrian.
Sameach, Adrian and Lindsay.
Hag Sameach.
Yeah, Hag Sameach, Mark.
Who's-
Yeah.
Linda.
Hi, Linda. Hag Sameach.
Hag Sameach to everybody.
We can't see you, Adrian and Lindsay.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not-
Yes.
I'm not complaining.
Start. Yeah, thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
I love you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, start video does help.
Yeah, no, it's
Adrian, do you want to say any words of welcome to Nathan and the community?
No, I think that it should be Kevin.
I know from experience with Nathan's Taken Services, he likes to introduce himself.
Okay. Well, I'll welcome them.
I think we do.
Exactly.
I'll see. We'll play it by ear. At the end, obviously, I'll say something.
Yeah.
We're sort of a little bit
Yeah.
spontaneous.
All right. I'll welcome them at the beginning.
Yeah.
No worries.
Absolutely. Oh, Rachel,
Yes.
I wanted to say, did you see the email from Shaw regarding being seated by 9:45 on Tuesday?
Oh, no, I didn't.
So logistics are, I really need to get up about 9 o'clock because I really need to come and get you about 9 a.m. because we just don't know what the traffic's going to be like and parking, and we've got to put the scrolls back up. So is that okay?
That's okay. I'm just wondering whether you're actually allowed to be in a car together. I think we better check. We check the rules.
It's changed.
Well, I'm your Uber driver to get you to work.
If you wear masks and have the windows open, it shouldn't be any different from getting an Uber.
No,
Yeah.
it shouldn't. Should it?
Exactly. Yeah.
And the good news, it's going to be a nice day Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
lovely. That's
Yeah,
very
which
nice.
is very good news. Because to do that, and if it's really cold and wet and horrible,
Passport.
Thank you for it.
COVID
and
passport.
I'm going to send Nathan the link later. And,
Hello. He's got the link.
There's Nathan.
Hag Sameach, Nathan.
Hi, Chag Sameach.
Hello, everyone.
Hag Sameach.
I went to the wrong place and I found someone else who was also in the wrong place, and
Oh.
I brought him across.
Oh, well done. Oh, I hope there won't be others in the wrong place.
Well, let's hope they're at the right time.
Nathan, I just wanted to ask you how you would feel if at some point I were to show that picture.
oh,
By all
not
means,
that one.
please.
Oh,
Oh, the
You know.
compromise.
You know the one I mean.
Only because it's Harrow Wembley. No, that's fine. And this is a bad question to ask at this stage, and I know the answer, but I am the first Torah reader, not the second. Aren't
You are. I sincerely hope so.
I?
You are now.
Only one question on Pesach.
yeah, well, this is
Yeah, I've got 3 other questions from you.
So there'll be plenty more. Hello, Mr. Mortimer.
Hi.
Welcome.
Sameach.
Well, yep. I was in the other place with Nathan.
Yes.
We're separatists.
Old
Yeah.
habits die hard.
Kevin, Diego would normally be here to let people in. I don't know if you're the letter in of people.
Yeah, I'm sort of the kind of gatekeeper.
He can't. The gatekeeper. He can't.
Yeah.
He can't be here, unfortunately. So, but are you?
Yeah, well, I can make something just so. I mean, basically, I'm sure that you're all kosher. But if who I can, it'd be nice for her to. I've made you the co-host as well.
Okay, I'll keep an eye
We'll
on.
keep an eye on if that's
Especially in the first part of the service, I come on for the Amidah, so I can help with that.
Well, I suspect, Kevin, that given that you've gone to the other place, both of you, that a lot of your members are going to log on probably after the start of the service. So,
didn't
Yeah.
know.
Kevin, either make me a co-host as well to keep so the more the merrier, keeping our eyes open.
Where did they go to, Nathan?
They go to the SWLS link.
Oh, right. Okay.
What I might do,
is pop out. Pop out later and check on
just
So, Nathan, who's the person who's doing the Torah blessings?
that would be Claire.
As in Claire Lubert.
That's right.
Claire, lovely.
Did you know that Claire's member of
Maureen's daughter?
Excellent. And what do you know what her Hebrew name is?
Oh, are you going to call her up? Her name is Esther Bat Rachmael.
Esther Bat. Well,
no, you're welcome to. Please.
Well, we talked about maybe me calling up your.
And me calling up yours. I can't remember on that point.
Yeah, but we don't need to. It might be just easier to call up our own in the end.
I like a bit of chaos.
Well, I don't know. What do you think?
No, I like it. I like the idea.
Apologies that I can't remember what we said in the first place, but I'm happy to call. Shall I call her up?
Yes, we said we'd call up
the other person.
The other person.
I think that would be good. I like that actually.
But then who is your person then?
My person is Linda, who is, well, she's above you on my screen. I don't know where she is on yours.
Hello, Linda.
Hi.
What's your Hebrew name?
Yedashalea Bat Baruch and Minnie.
Yeah, I think you should call Linda up, Rachel.
Okay.
I think Linda should call herself up personally.
Should we do? Because you've probably got it written down.
I have.
Yeah, should we do that then?
All right.
No offense, Linda.
Okay, change the rules already. No problem.
Make it up as we go along.
Charles Middleborough has the longest Hebrew name I've ever heard, so I tried to avoid calling him up if I could at the college.
Did you switch to pick our picture off yesterday?
Yes, thanks.
And what about reading, Rachel? We didn't talk about that. Does the Torah reader read the English as well as the Hebrew?
Yes, or I'm happy to invite Linda to read the English of my bit. If you
Okay,
want to
I'll invite Claire too. Then.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's on the screen, isn't it?
It's on the script.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. So Linda, thank you. If you don't mind doing that again, sight unseen, like yesterday.
We love dropping you in it, don't we, Linda?
I know. It's easier this time.
I'm going to go across and then I'll come back.
Okay, Nathan.
Hello, George.
I'm here as well.
Hello, Mary. Nice to see you.
Yes.
Hello, George and Mary.
Hello.
Shalom, did I hear you say that?
I know. I keep wanting to say Shabbat Shalom. Chag Sameach.
Yes,
Yeah.
On autopilot.
We're still getting organised.
We haven't got rid of last night's match crumbs yet.
No, I know.
Sorry. I'm just reading a message on my phone. My son had put, I yesterday, I don't know if you noticed, I disappeared in the service twice because the first time my dance teacher happened to knock on the door and I'd won a cup.
Oh.
And
Mazel tov.
Thank you. I posted it up on Facebook and my son had just written, "Go mum, go mum, go mum," and it said, "See translation." And it was translating "go mum" into "it's for mum, it's for mum, it's for mum."
Linda, I've got to ask, was it for the tap or for the ballet?
Well, I think it was the adult cup. So I think it was for the fact that I've been to every lesson and I try hard because I'm absolutely useless.
Oh, no. I was going to say, are you going to dance for us next week when we read the Song of the Sea? You can be Miriam. Hi, Janet. Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach. How's everybody this morning?
Not too bad.
Hi.
All right, thank you.
Tired.
Never mind.
You can have a schluff this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to get ready for the evening.
We were on Tel Aviv time, and
Oh.
they were 3 hours
Oh,
yesterday.
Yes.
3 hours.
So we started at 4:30.
oh, well, that was good.
When does
Yeah, but we
Israel,
didn't finish till very late.
when does Israel change to summertime?
It did last Thursday,
Oh, I see. Oh, yes.
which is why they were 3 hours ahead. We're now only 2 hours different.
Yes.
We
The
haven't realised
normal.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruth didn't say anything, did she, about the time?
No.
So Pat, we can't see you.
Yeah, I'm just finishing off my
Putting your face on.
getting myself prepared for a few minutes.
And I see that Vivian, you've logged on. Lovely to have you here, Vivian. We can't see you. If you would like to be seen, we can arrange that for you.
Is that Vivian Schwer?
I believe so.
Hi, Vivian.
Vivian, hello.
I don't think it is. It's not Vivian.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
She connected to she connected to the audio.
She's got something good that she's got.
She's not connected to the audio.
Vivian?
Yeah.
Yes, she is, because
She's
I
not.
can hear her
No.
talking. I'm going to ring her.
Yeah. No, because there's no loud, there's no microphone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, good Yontef.
Good
Yontef.
Hag Sameach, everyone.
Hi, Paul.
Hag Sameach, Paul. When is Ruth's birthday actually, Paul?
It was the 21st.
21st. Excellent.
Well, that's our wedding anniversary.
Wow.
First day of spring, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. The day I got married, it was raining so hard they had to borrow a golf umbrella for me.
Oh no! I'm slightly worried that Joseph's not here yet, Kevin.
He just sent me a text, so let's see what he's had to say. Here we go.
Traffic's bad in Harrow.
Joseph can't find the code.
It's on the. Tell him to go to the website, to Liberal Services.
Yeah, okay.
And then go down the page.
Yeah, okay. He's on your Shabbat service.
It's on the same letter there.
Yeah, or on the weekly email.
I don't think he gets that.
No,
But I could send it to him, go to website. Or actually, no, I'll send him the...
Otherwise, I've got the code in front of me if you want it.
That's all right, it's all right. Well, what I'll do is... Oh, no, I can't play it from here. I'll send him the newsletter. That's what I'll do. It's always won't... Should have let him know. Look. Otherwise, I could sing if you...
Dead silence.
We've got deadly silence there. So, oh God, why is my finger so slow?
Good morning, all.
Morning, Alan.
Morning. Oh, do you only see each other through screens, Janet and Alan?
That's right, yes. Who is that woman, Janet Sullivan?
No, we've all spoken this morning.
Must be some relation.
Okay. Alan.
Okay, let me email.
Good Yontov. Right, 8 people. I think Nathan must have gathered a number of people.
I'm just so I'm not good because I'm sending Joseph the.
Okay, I'll do that. Don't worry. I'll just let them all in.
I'm still used to. Oh, Joseph's in the waiting room now. Okay.
Good.
Oh, they're all coming in. Think about. Oh, Jonathan's here. That's good. We got good. Oh. Everyone comes in one go. Low. Oh. Everyone comes in 1 minute too.
Adrian, I just muted you by mistake, I think. Sorry about that. Oh, we haven't got Maureen. Oh, then maybe they're together, actually.
Yeah, possibly. Is Joseph?
No, who's that?
Hi, I'm here now.
Hey, you made it.
Woo!
Yes, Joseph.
Sorry, it wasn't it wasn't an email, so it was a bit hard to find.
What's it?
Head was there. The top of her head.
All right, we've got. Nice, we're now on to 2 pages. That's the way to the.
28 people so far.
Joseph.
Yes.
Nathan would like to sing something for
We're
Sim
on to 3
Shalom,
on that.
just to let you know.
Okay, Nathan will sing Shalom. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay, and I'll do Doddy Lee. I'll try and have a go.
Carry on. Mark,
Okay.
carry on.
Rachel. Hello, Joseph. You weren't down to do something for Sim Shalom, were you? Because if you were, I'm happy not to. But I didn't think it was going to be sung.
I'm happy to sing it, but I'm also happy for you to sing it. I'm just happy.
Okay, well, I can't complain at that. Thank you. Well, I'll sing it then.
Great.
That's
Vivian.
But is it? I'm Vivian.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I've collected a few stray sheep.
Yes, I thought you might.
Yeah. I was one of them earlier.
Yeah. Oh, I hope there won't be any others.
Yeah, just remember you're north of the river, not south of the river today.
I am always north of the river at the
Yeah,
moment.
sure, of course, yes, you're still.
I'm in Park Royal.
Claire, can you hear us? Oh, where did Claire go?
Still probably late. Claire and Maureen are together.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Oh, there you are. Excellent. Lovely.
Found
Hello
them.
there.
Hi. Hello.
Thanks, Samaya.
Hello, Claire. Hi.
Kevin, do you want to make me co-host so I can let
Yeah,
people...
yeah, sure, yeah, of course, yeah, sorry.
That's this Vivian's iPad, but it's.
Rory,
Yeah.
I wonder whether you'd like, I mean, this would be a real mitzvah. Could you go across, could you come out and go across and just wait for 5 minutes for people that have gone to the wrong link using our login and then come back? Just send them over to the Mosaic link. Would that be okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no worries. I'll come back. I'll
Yeah,
be back.
don't wait too long. Just 5 minutes would be enough. Thank you.
Got you.
Kevin, Kevin, how do I get my picture up? For some reason.
Oh gosh, start video. It's like it looks like a bubblegum sort of sweet at the bottom. You've only been doing this for a year, Hannah.
Right, Kevin.
Right.
I just ask, are we having shared screen or do we need the Sidor?
You need the Sidor. Rosemary.
Yes, Sidor Kadash, yes.
Yes, it is.
Start video, is it?
Yeah. Joseph, do you want to just quickly test your sounds just to see?
La 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 la.
That's perfect.
Very good.
That's good. Yeah. Excellent.
Hannah,
Yeah,
Hannah, touch your screen and you'll see that it will come up start video somewhere, either the top or the bottom, depending on your device.
Yes, okay, I'll get yeah, and I press start video, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
And
There we go.
There you
my
are.
magic.
Welcome,
Mirror.
Hannah.
Thank you, Adrian. Hello, everybody.
Hannah, Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
Lovely to see you.
Nathan, should we wait a couple of minutes for Rory or?
Maybe if we could wait a minute or two, that would be very nice. If we
Yeah,
could.
do that.
Claire. Oh, yes, there she is.
Nice to see everyone. I'm looking around the screen. Hello, Janet.
Oh, Francis is here. That's good. Francis.
Brigitte. Wow.
Just logging on.
Those are the
And then
Okay.
Nathan, who's reading the prayer for the community?
Well, I thought I'd choose someone based on who was.
All right. Okay.
And I'll let you know if that's all right.
Okay. No worries.
Welcome, Francis. Good to see you.
John Heidemann, would you like to read the prayer for the community?
Sure, thank you.
Thank you. So that's John.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Oh, we've got 30 participants. That's 30 screens. Certainly got a minion, that's for definite.
Yeah, but we can't see her. She can stand or anything.
So we're just waiting a few moments because I think some SLLS people might have gone to their service rather than ours. So we're just wanting to make sure that there's nobody abandoned in cyberspace.
Rory's coming back in less than a minute, and he's gone over to fetch people. I think we're ready to go, Rachel, if you'd like to start.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to mute everyone, and obviously I'll get Nathan and Rachel and Joseph to unmute themselves. So I'm going to now mute you all and hand over to Rachel.
Thank you, Kevin. So, hi everybody, I'm Rachel Benjamin, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm still Rachel Benjamin for those of you who do know me. But very, very warm welcome to everybody, especially to my colleague Rabbi Nathan Godliman and to the members of South London Liberal Synagogue who are joining us this morning. I know this is a bit home from home for Nathan, and I'm delighted that I think this is sort of a return match because the community came to you a little while ago, and we're absolutely delighted that you're with us today, and so glad that we're going to be leading this together, Nathan.
Me too. Thank you.
And hope this will be the first of others in the future. So, Chag Sameach, everyone. Good Yontov. We're going to be starting our service. We're in Siddur Lev Chadash on page 437. I'm going to ask Joseph to lead us in Matovu.
Good morning, everyone. Chag Sameach, Good Yontov. Lovely to see you all. Matovu, Matovu, Ochalecha Yaakov, Mishkanotecha Yisrael, Matovu, Matovu, Ochalecha Yaakov, Mishkanotecha Yisrael, Va'ani barov chazdecha, avotecha, eshtacha ve'echecha al kodshecha, ve'yiratecha, Matovu, Matovu, Ochalecha Yaakov, Mishkanotecha Yisrael, Matovu, Matovu, Ochalecha Yaakov, Mishkanotecha Yisrael. Adonai ahavti, me'on betecha, Umakom mishkan kavodecha, mishkan kvodecha, va'ani eshtachaveh, ve'echra, evracha lifnei Adonai, osi, Matovu, Matovu, Ochalecha Yaakov, Mishkanotecha Yisrael,
משכנותיה ישראל, ואני תפילתי לך, אדוני את רצון. אלוהים ברוב חסדך, אלוהים ברוב חסדך, ענני באמת ישעך. מה טובו, מה טובו, יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל, מה טובו, מה טובו, עול יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל, משכנותיך ישראל.
That was my toddler Mika attempting a mashup with Motovu and The Lion Sleeps Tonight, so she's very advanced.
Thank you, Joseph. Hello, Mika. Chag Sameach. So, at the foot of page 437. Nachon libi Elohim, nachon libi. Ashira va'azamera, ura chvodi, ura hanevel v'chinor. A'ira shachar, odcha v'amim Adonai. Azamercha baleumim, ki gadol ad shamayim chastecha, ve'ad shechakim amitecha. So there are 5 Megillot, each that are attached to a different festival, and the one that is attached to the festival of Pesach is the beautiful, beautiful Song of Songs. So we'll read a little bit from that here. The voice of my beloved, there he comes, leaping over mountains, bounding over hills.
My beloved is like a gazelle, like a young stag.
Look, there he stands behind our wall, gazing in at the windows, looking through the lattice, and he says to me,
Rise up, my love, my fair one, come away.
For now the winter is past.
The rains are over and gone.
The flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing has come.
The song of the dove is heard in our land.
The green figs are ripening on the trees.
The vines in blossom are fragrant.
Rise up, my love.
My fair one, come away.
O my dove, in the clefts of the rock, in the covert of the cliff, let me see your face, let me hear your voice.
Your voice is sweet, and your face is lovely.
Where has your beloved gone, O fairest among women?
Which way has your beloved turned, that we may seek him with you?
My beloved has gone down to his garden, to the beds of spices.
To pasture his flock in the gardens and to gather lilies.
My beloved is mine and I am his.
Who delights among the lilies.
Set me as a seal upon your heart.
As a seal upon your hand.
For love is strong as death.
Passion mighty as the grave.
Its flashes are fiery flashes.
A raging flame.
Many waters cannot quench love.
No flood can sweep it away.
Were you to offer for love all the wealth of your house,
you would be held in scorn.
Dodi li va'anilo haroe bashoshanim dodi li mizot ola min hamidbar mizot ola min hamidbar dodi li va'anilo haroe bashoshanim dodi li bavtini achoti kala li bavtini achoti kala dodi li va'anilo לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים תודי לי. And so we continue on page 453 with Psalm 100.
Adonai b'simcha, all afanav ilana, Deuki Adonai Elohim Sanu Valonaknu Amal Vason Aito Bosharav Betoda Atserotav Betayila Odu Lo Baruchu Shamo Odu Lo Baruchu Shamo Ki tov Adonai Eolam Azgo Be'ad Dovado Emunato Be'ad Dovado Emunato.
And we turn over to page 456 for the Baruch Hu.
Nine, 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 Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Eolam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Eolam Va'ed.
Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or uvorei choshech, Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, Hame'ir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, Uv'tuvo machadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, Kulam b'chochma asita, Mal'a ha'aretz kinyanecha, Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, Ve'al me'orei or she'asita, Yefa'arucha Selah. Baruch Ata Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. And I know everyone's muted, but let's read together on page 457. Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and with love to uphold the truths of your Torah. Open our eyes to your teaching. Make us faithful to your commandments and wholehearted in the love and awe of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. We praise you, O God. In love you have called your people Israel to serve you. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael, be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Le'olam, Le'olam Vaed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך, בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Good and beautiful and true, sound, established and enduring are these words now and forever. The everlasting God is our sovereign. The rock of Jacob is the shield of our salvation. Eternal God, you redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song.
Chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Mi chamocha, Neda b'kodesh. Mi chamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Mi chamocha, Neda b'kodesh.
Nora, Tehilot, Osei, Fele, Nora, Tehilot, Osei, Fele.
שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים, לשמך על שפת חיים, יחד כולם הודו והמלכו ואמרו, אדוני,
Adonai,
ימלוך,
Yimloch,
לעולם,
Leolam, Vaed,
אדוני,
Adonai,
ימלוך,
Yimloch,
לעולם,
Leolam,
Vaed.
Vaed.
So Israel, Bezrat Israel, Golenu Adonai Tzavaot Shemo, Kadosh Israel, Baruch Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Good morning, everyone. We're on page 460, 460. Adonai Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Emoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Koneh Hakol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, u'Mevi Geola livnei v'nehem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye metim atah Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hageshem, Mazriach hashemesh u'morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye metim berachamim rabbi, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Mi chamocha ba'al gevurot, Umi domelach, Melech mimit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hametim. We revere and sanctify you, even as in the prophet's vision the seraphim sanctified you in the temple. As it is written, they called to one another and proclaimed,
Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzavaot, Malok kol haaretz kavodo.
Eternal One, our God, how glorious is your name in all the earth.
Baruch kavod Adonai, imakomo.
From your concealment, turn to us in mercy. Be gracious to the people who call you one, who continually, twice each day, proclaim with love.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
You are the one God, our loving Creator, our Sovereign and our Redeemer, and in mercy you will once again enable us and all who live to hear.
Ani Adonai Elohechem.
And with the psalmist we declare,
Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Tzion, L'tov Adon, Hallelujah. L'tov Adon, L'tov Adon, L'tov Adon, Nagid kol lecha. Ulaneitzak netzachim, Ulaneitzak netzachim, Kadosh atcha nagdish, L'dov Adon, L'dov Adon, L'dov Adon, Nagid kol lecha, Ulaneitzak netzachim, Ulaneitzak netzachim, Kadosh atcha nagdish. V'shivcha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed, lo yamush le'olam va'ed. L'dov Adon, L'dov Adon, L'dov Adon, Magid b'alecha, Ulaneitzak netzachim, Ulaneitzak netzachim, Kadosh atcha nagdish, Baruch atah Adonai, האל הקדוש.
You have given us a special task among the peoples. In your love and favor, you have sanctified us by your commandments, drawn us near to your service, and charged us to make known your great and holy name. In your love, eternal one, our God, you have given us feasts of joy and seasons of gladness, among them this festival of unleavened bread, season of our freedom, Chag HaMatzot Hazeh, Zman Cherutenu, to unite us in worship and in remembrance of the Exodus from Egypt. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ya'aleh v'yavo v'yizacher zichronenu v'zichron kol amcha Beit Yisrael lefanecha letova v'livracha lechaim u'leshalom. Chag HaMatzot Hazeh, festival of unleavened bread. Zochenu Adonai Eloheinu bo letova.
Amen.
Ufokteinu vo livracha.
Amen.
V'hoshienu vo lechaim.
Amen.
And let's stay muted, but say together at the bottom of 464. Grant, eternal God, that our observance of the festivals may bring us blessing, happiness, and joy. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. And grant, eternal God, that the happiness of the festivals may be with us always. We praise you, O God. You hallow Israel and the festivals. And I think if I said stay unmuted, I meant stay muted. But you knew that. V'etzei Adonai Eloheinu b'amcha Yisrael. Eternal God, be gracious to your people Israel, and in your love accept their prayers. May our worship now and always be acceptable in your sight. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship in reverence. Modim anachnu lach. Sha'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu le'olam va'ed. Tzur chayenu, magen yish'enu, ata hu ledor vador. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך, על חיינו המסורים בידך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך, שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולך נאה להודות. Our God and God of our ancestors, bless us with the threefold benediction of the Torah. Yavarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Ken yehi ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka.
Ken yehi ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Amen. Ken yehi ratzon.
Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. 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 Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. And let's join together with the Chatima, the seal of the blessing, at the bottom in Hebrew and then in English. Baruch atah Adonai, oseh hashalom. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. And let's take a few moments to ourselves.
לרצון עם רפי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי Adonai Suri V'Goali Ihu L'Ratzon Im Refi V'Hegion Libi Lefanecha Adonai Suri
And so we turn over now to page 468 for the Hallel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu likro et hahallel. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You sanctify us by your commandments and enjoin us to recite Hallel.
Hallelujah, Hallelujah, te Adonai, Hallelujah, et Shem Adonai, Yishem Adonai, Mevorach, Me'ata ve'ad olam. ממזרח שמש עד מבוא, מחול על שם אדוני, על כל גויים אדוני, על השמיים כבודו. מקדוני אלוהינו המגביא, שבט המשפילי לראות בשמיים ובארץ. כי מעפר דל מישפוט ירים אביון להושיבי עם נדיבי עמו. Hallelujah.
Nathan and I are going to sing Psalm 114. B'tzeit Yisrael,
B'tzeit Yisrael,
Mitzrayim, Beit Yaakov, Me'am Lo'ez, Hayta Yehuda,
Hayta Yehuda,
Vekodsho, Yisrael, Mamshelotav, Hayam Ra'ah, Vayanos, Hayarden, Yisov le'achor, Heharim, Rakducha Elim, Gevaot, Kivnei Tzon, Malecha Hayam, Itanu, Hayarden, Tisov le'achor, Heharim
Ehari,
Tirkaducha Eli
Yekaduch Eli,
Gevaot
Gevaot,
Lifnei Tzon
Givneton,
Milifnei Adon
Neadon,
Huli Are
Holi Are,
Milifnei
Mirifne,
Eloach Yaakov
Eloah Yaakov,
Hahofchi Hatzur
Ochiatu,
Agamai
Agamai,
Chalamish
Alamish,
Lemaino Mai.
Lemainomai.
And now we turn over to page 474, or Psalm 117.
Hallelujah, et Adonai kol goyim, Shabhu kol haumim, ki gava aleinu chazdo, ve'emet Adonai le'olam. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hodu l'Adonai ki tov, ki le'olam chazdo, Yomana Yisrael, ki le'olam chazdo, Yomru Navet Aharon, ki le'olam chazdo, Yomru Na'irei Adonai, ki le'olam chazdo.
In my distress, I cried out to God.
Who answered me and set me free.
God is with me, I am not afraid.
What can mere mortals do to me?
With God as my helper,
I can face any foe.
it is better to take refuge in God than to rely on human beings.
It is better to take refuge in God than to rely on those in power.
God is my strength and my shield.
And has become my salvation.
Hear glad songs of triumph in the tents of the righteous.
The Eternal One does mighty deeds.
God's power is supreme.
The Eternal One does mighty deeds.
I shall not die, but live.
To tell of God's deeds.
Open for me the gates of righteousness.
Let me enter them and give thanks to God.
This is the gate of the Eternal One.
The righteous shall enter it.
Odecha ki anitani batahi lishua, even masu habonim ayeta al rosh pina, me'et Adonai aytazot inifnot beinenu zehayom asa Adonai Magila v'nismachaba, Ana Adonai Hoshiana, Ana Adonai Hoshiana, Ana Adonai Hatzlichana, Ana Adonai
Baruch haba b'shem Adonai.
Berachnuchem mi beit Adonai.
Eli ata v'odeka.
Elohai aromameka.
Hodu l'Adonai ki tov, ki la'olam chazdo.
Thank you, Joseph. That was brilliant. It was lovely revisiting all those Pesach tunes in the Hallel. And thank you, Nathan, as well. I wasn't sure how that echo song was going to work with Zoom, and I'm not really sure how it sounded for other people, whether we clashed with each other and over. Oh, good. Some thumbs up. Excellent. Thank you. So we're going to turn over now to our Torah service, which you will find on page 497, 497. V'haya ba'acharit hayamim, in days to come, the mountain of God's house shall be established as the highest mountain, towering above the hills, and all the nations shall stream to it. Many peoples will go and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Eternal One, to the house of the God of Jacob, so that we may learn God's ways and walk in God's paths."
Ki mitzion teksei Torah, Ki mitzion teksei Torah, U'davad Adonai Yerushalayim.
Beit Yaakov lechu v'neilcha be'or Adonai. And so this is the moment in our Zoom service when we just have to put our imaginations to work and imagine that we've gone up to the Bimah and we're opening the ark and taking out the scrolls. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shamo.
Gadlul Adonai iti unaromama shemo yachdav. Let us magnify the Eternal One. Together let us exalt God's name.
Lecha Adonai Hagadula, Bahagavura, Bahatiferet, Bahanetzavat, Yichol Hashamayim Uvaretz, Yichol Hashamayim Uvaretz, Lecha Adonai Amamlacha Mitnasei, Lachol Larosh.
Are you on?
Right, I'm unmuted, and I think Claire and Maureen are unmuted. And I'm going to call Claire up, and Maureen is going to read the translation. And I think that will appear on the screen in a moment. And Maureen and Claire are really the family that bridge the gap, if there were to be a gap between us and you. And that means to describe who us and you are, because it feels like one community, which is really very nice. So Claire is with us now at the South London Liberal Synagogue, and Maureen is at the synagogue formerly known as HWPS, Mosaic Liberal, and therefore they're both involved in this, but I'm only going to call Claire up. So without further ado, oh, and as my colleague at the LJS says, it should now be unmute for the reading of the Torah, rather than, but I'm not sure how to say that in Hebrew. So, Ta'amod Esther bat Rachmael lekriyat haTorah.
Praise the one to whom our praise is due. Praised be the Eternal One to whom our praise is due forever. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe. You have called us to serve you by giving us Torah. We praise you, O God, giver of Torah.
And we're reading from Exodus 12 rather, verses 37 to 42. That's the first aliyah, and then Rabbi Rachel is going to do the next part. So shall we, our custom has been to have the English translation first. Would that be all right, Rachel, if we did that? I thought I got it from HWPS, but I might be wrong. I may have picked it up somewhere else.
Can I read it on the screen?
No, yeah, okay. Shall we do it
Yeah,
first?
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Israelites journeyed from Ramesses to Sukkot, about 600,000 men on foot, aside from children. Moreover, a mixed multitude went up with them, and very much livestock, both flocks and herds. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough that they had taken out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, since they had been driven out of Egypt and could not delay, nor had they prepared any provisions for themselves. The length of time that the Israelites lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of the 430th year, to the very day, all the ranks of the Eternal One departed from the land of Egypt. That was for the Eternal One a night of vigil to bring them out of the land of Egypt. That same night is the Eternal One's ones of vigil for all the children of Israel throughout the ages.
Thank you, Maureen. Thanks. ויסעו בני ישראל מרמסס סוכתה כ600,000 רגלי הגברים לבד מטף וגם ערב רב עלה איתם וצאן ובקר מקנה כבד מאוד, ויופו את הבצק אשר הוציאו ממצרים, עוגות מצות כי לא חמץ, כי גורשו ממצרים, ולא יכלו להתממע. וגם צידה לא עשו להם, ומושב בני ישראל, אשר ישבו במצרים, 30 שנה, ו400 שנה, ויהי מקץ 30 שנה ו400 שנה, ויהי בעצם היום הזה יצאו כל צבאות אדוני מארץ מצרים, ליל שימורים הוא לאדוני, להוציאם מארץ מצרים, הלילה הזה לאדוני שימורים לכל בני ישראל לדורותיו.
We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe. You've given us true teachings and implanted within us eternal life. We praise you, O God, giver of Torah.
Amen. And so we go to the second reading, which is the continuation of the reading. And of course, it's the very first Pesach and the first day of Pesach, which we are on today. So I will call up Linda for the Torah blessings. Ta'amod, Yadasha, Leah, Bat Baruch, Umini, Likriyat HaTorah.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. I'm not sure what the minhag was before I came on board, actually, Nathan, but my minhag has been to do the Hebrew first and then the English. So
I beg your pardon.
no. It's we're mixing minhagim here.
No.
That's what this is all about.
It's the Erev Rav again, isn't it?
Exactly. So hang on. Oh no, why is that gone there? Hang on. Help. Okay, all right, I've lost everyone. Can you all see me and see the screen?
Yes.
Good. Okay. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, קדש לי כל בכור, פטר כל רחם בבני ישראל, באדם ובבהמה. לי הוא, ויאמר משה אל העם, זכור את היום הזה, אשר יצאתם ממצרים מבית עבדים, כי בחוזק יד הוציא אדוני אתכם מזה, ולא יאכל חמץ. היום אתם יוצאים בחודש האביב, והיה כי יביאך אדוני אל ארץ הכנעני, והחיתי והאמורי, והחיבי והיבוסי, אשר נשבע לאבותיך לתת לך ארץ זבת חלב ודבש. ועבדת את העבודה הזאת בחודש הזה, 7 ימים תאכל מצות, וביום השביעי חג לאדוני. מצות יאכל את 7 הימים, ולא יראה ולא יראה לך חמץ, ולא יראה לך שאור בכל גבולך, והגדת לבנך ביום ההוא לאמור, בעבור זה עשה אדוני לי בצאתי ממצרים, והיה לך לאות על ידך ולזיכרון בין עיניך, למען תהיה תורת אדוני בפיך, כי ביד חזקה הוציאך אדוני ממצרים, ושמרת את החוקה הזאת למועדה מימים ימימה.
Ashikoa.
Thank you. Linda, if you're, thank you.
The Eternal One spoke further to Moses, saying, "Consecrate to me every firstborn, man and beast. The first issue of every womb among the Israelites is mine." And Moses said to the people, "Remember this day on which you went free from Egypt, the house of bondage, how the Eternal One freed you from it with a mighty hand. No leavened bread shall be eaten. You go free on this day in the month of Aviv. So when the Eternal One has brought you into the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which God swore to your ancestors to give you a land flowing with milk and honey, you shall observe in this month the following practice. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there shall be a festival of the Eternal One. Throughout the 7 days unleavened bread shall be eaten. No leavened bread shall be found with you, and no leaven shall be found in all your territory." Can you move it up? Sorry, it needed to go up.
We lost the share, Kevin. Share's gone.
I can't share it.
I can try if you give me a minute. Let's see. Just bear with me for a second. I'll do my best to share.
Yeah.
And let's see. So I think I have sharing rights. So,
yes, you're the co-host, so you have got the sharing privileges. So
the power. Right. Hold on a sec. There we are. And if I scroll up, Linda, can you see the screen?
Yeah, just about.
I'll make that a bit bigger.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. There we are.
You might want to move it up a bit because I'm on verse 8.
Okay.
Oh, that's it. And you shall explain to your son on that day, it is because of what the Eternal One did for me when I went free from Egypt. And this shall serve you as a sign on your hand and as a reminder on your forehead, in order that the teaching of the Eternal One may be in your mouth, that with a mighty hand the Eternal One freed you from Egypt. You shall keep this institution at its set time from year to year. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Well done.
We seem to have lost Rachel. I think her Wi-Fi has gone down.
Yeah. Well,
is there another rabbi who could take
I think there's another rabbi in the house, Nathan.
Yes, well, it's all.
Well, let's see.
I'll sing Baruch Shanatan Torah.
That would be good, and we'll carry on imagining that the scroll is now raised above someone's head.
Baruch Shanatan Torah le'amor Israel b'kedushato.
Thanks, Joseph. And I think there's someone in Mosaic Libra who's ready and able to read the Haftorah and to tell us a little bit about it. Who might that be? Who's reading Haftorah? That's good. It's Lindsay. Do you want to unmute, Lindsay? And you can.
No. I was throwing my hat. I was throwing my hands. Sorry, heavenwards, imploring the Almighty to intervene, because I think unless someone.
I might even know, but you'll have to bear with me because I wasn't going to be involved in this part. So, yes, I do know. In fact, it's Isaiah. It is.
Yes, I'm due to read the Haftorah, right. But what I'll need is Nathan to recite the blessing for Nathan to share the screen again. For the
I will do. So let me do that now, and I think I'm in the right place. Let's see. So we'll just open that, and it's all on the same doc. So there we are. So we're going to be hearing from Isaiah 43 verses 1 and 2, and then I'm not sure what's going on between 3 and 9, but we're not reading those. We move on to 10 to 11. And can you see that, Kevin?
Yeah, I can see that perfectly well. And could I ask Adrian or Lindsay, because I've had Rachel on the phone, she can't find just to email her or text her the link. She's lost, she's crashed out and she can't get back in. So somebody could do that behind the scenes.
Sorry, what do you want me to do?
Or Agent, just to send the link to Rachel, because she probably will find it, but she's struggling to find it, if you can.
Okay, will do.
Thank you. Okay, so on to the Haftorah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nviim tovim, v'atzar v'divreihem, hanemorim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher b'torah, Moshe Avdo, Yisrael Amo, in Vi'i Emet Tzedek. But now thus said the Eternal One, who created you, O Jacob? Who formed you, O Israel? Fear not, for I will redeem you. I have not singled you out by name. You are mine. When you pass water, I will be with you through streams. They shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through fire, You shall not be scorched through flame, it shall not burn you. My witnesses are you, declares the Eternal One, my servant whom I have chosen to the end that you may take thought and believe in me, and understand that I am God. Before me no God was formed, and after me none shall exist. None but me, the Eternal One, beside me, none can grant triumph. I alone foretold the triumph, and I brought it to pass. I announced it, and no strange God was among you. So you are my witnesses, declares the Eternal One, and I am God. Ever since day was I, ever since day was, I am God. None can deliver from my hand. When I act, who can reverse it? Thus said the Eternal One, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake I sent to Babylon. I will bring down all her bars, and the Chaldeans shall raise their voice in lamentation. I am your Holy One, the Eternal One, your Sovereign, the Creator of Israel. Thus said the Eternal One, who made a road through the sea, and a path through mighty waters, who destroyed chariots and horses, and all the mighty host. They lay down to rise no more. They were extinguished, quenched like a wick. Do not recall what happened of old, or ponder what happened of yore. I am about to do something new. Even now it shall come to pass. Suddenly you shall perceive it. I will make a road through the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The wild beasts shall honour me, jackals and ostriches, for I provide water in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. To give me drink to my chosen people, the people I formed for myself, that they may declare my praise. Al HaTorah, Ba'al Havadah, Ba'al Hinvi'im, Ba'al Yom, Hag Hamatzor Hazeh. Shenatan Lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, L'Sason Ul Shemacha, L'Kavod Utif Aret, Al Hakol, Adonai Eloheinu, Anachnu Modim Liach, Umrachim Otach, Yitbaraf Shimcha, Befi Kol Hai, Tamid Yolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai, Makadesh Yisrael V'Chazmanim. Amen.
Thanks very much, Kevin. And I think there's someone who's going to read the prayer for the Queen and the government.
Yeah, that's Stephen for the Queen and the government. They need all the prayers they can get at the moment.
You. And John is going to read the prayer for the community, and then the prayer for the state of Israel.
It's going to be Paul Hart.
Thanks, Kevin.
Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our sovereign lady, Queen Elizabeth, and all the royal family, for those who govern our country and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity.
Amen.
Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members, and all who enter this synagogue to meet, to study, and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing hearts among us and heal those in anxiety or pain. May we all find here community and friendship, renewal of purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage, and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all congregations of the House of Israel throughout the world. Let those who live under oppressive rules soon be freed, and may we all unite to witness to your truth and do your will.
Amen.
Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessings to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all the inhabitants, and and to implement the prophets' ideals and liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbours, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem.
And I think Rachel has returned from the ether. And
That's a first. I'm so sorry, everybody. Sorry, Nathan.
well, it happened on a good day, really, because I was there, whereas normally it would just, if it had happened to me, there wouldn't have been. Well, we would have managed. We were fine. There you are.
Okay. So where are we?
We're Yahalelu. We're
Okay.
towards the bottom.
Okay, lovely.
501.
Yehalelu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado. Let us praise the Eternal One, whose name alone is exalted.
הודו על ארץ ושמיים וירם קרן לעמו. תהילה לכל חסידיו, תהילה לכל עשיתיו, לבני ישראל עם קרובה. הללויה, hallelujah. And we continue straight to the foot of page 503. כי לחג טוב נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזבו, עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בו, ותאמר מאושר, דרכיך דהינום, וכל נתיבותיה שלום, שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך, ונשוב עד ימינו כגדר, חדש ימינו כגדר.
So again, I apologize for disappearing off into the wilderness. I have no idea what happened, and I hope I can sort it out for this evening because that's my laptop, which I need for our communal Seder. Oh well. So Nathan and I decided that you probably had enough of sermons this weekend. So we thought we'd try something a little bit different, which will be a little conversation between him and me about Passover. So I think I'm just going to hand straight over to Nathan. Maybe we'll say a few words about what happened last night for each of us.
Thanks, Rachel. And yes, well, last night some people went off and had their family seders after our candle lighting. We decided we've been coming together for Havdalah for many months now, and it's grown into about a dozen regulars and some people who come and go, and we've been linking with Birmingham Progressive as well. It's been very nice. And there was the problem or the quandary what to do when Shabbat leads on to Chag, to a festival. So we had some interesting conversations and much internet searching, and we decided to come together for a candle lighting, and that developed into something slightly more, and it was an opportunity for people to be together who weren't necessarily going on to a family Seder. We found someone had already had a family Seder. They'd had the Seder with the kids that afternoon, Joe and Lena, and Bev had been in Israel at a Seder yes, it must have been properly timed there. But we're waiting for tonight. We're having our communal Seder, and it's our second one, like you, I'm sure, on Zoom. And last year we were very new to all this, and we sent out instructions as to how to download Zoom. we decided we probably didn't need to do that this year. So we're all waiting for tonight. So the second year, and hopefully, as I'm sure you're saying too, the last one on Zoom, and back to our hall, which is the Lily Montague Hall at Prentice Road next year altogether, where we have much hilarity. Quite a bit of wine was drunk the last time we were in the hall, on one table in particular, I seem to remember, more than 4 cups, or big cups. So we're waiting for tonight. So we've got quite a day, and I imagine your communal Seder is also tonight.
It is indeed. Absolutely.
You just said that, didn't you? Yeah.
Yes. So last night we had our family Seder, and yes, I know some people had. I know Janet said that their Seder started at 4:30 because they had Tel Aviv with them. Well, we also had Tel Aviv with us last night, and New Zealand. So we were really all over the world. So New Zealand had their Seder at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Well, we started, I know, at 7 o'clock yesterday evening. And the Israeli who was there had flown in from Ecuador, I think. So he was in a hotel quarantining. He was really still stuck in Egypt, very much so. So it was lovely. It was also very different from last year, because last year we were all thrown into Zoom in this impossible situation. It was much smoother this year, and people were much more comfortable on Zoom as well. So as I say, it was a different experience, but we're really, really hoping that next year we'll be in person. And I hope as a community, I don't think we'll quite be in the building yet, will we, Adrian? Probably at Pesach, with a huge bit of luck, but who knows, absolutely. But wherever we are, I hope it will be in person. Zoom's been amazing, but nothing really beats being in person.
No, that's right. That's right. We were talking about. I was trying to work out how many Sederim I'd done as a new rabbi and as a student rabbi, and I think the number is 11. And I've had a few funny moments. We're going to talk about a few funny moments.
When were you ordained, Nathan?
I was ordained. It will be 3 years on July the 2nd.
Oh my gosh, so, time flies.
Time flies, but the last year and a quarter, of course, has been quite extraordinary. So I feel for our colleagues who were ordained during this pandemic and who haven't really seen in the flesh rabbinic work at all. It's really quite extraordinary. But for the first 5 years as a student, I was at Eastbourne. Well, I was at Eastbourne in my first year as a student. I carried on taking their Seder when I finished with them, and I ended up doing the full set. I quite like collecting sets of things, so I did five Sederim at Eastbourne, and the last 2 years there, I was also at South London. I was properly ensconced at South London, so I think I've notched up 11, which is probably quite a bit fewer than yours. When were you ordained, Rachel?
I was ordained in 98, so it'll be 23 years this year.
Yeah. I did a few years of 2 Sederim, and one journey in particular was one I wouldn't care to repeat, which was Eastbourne to, only because the journey was bad. It was nice at either end, but Eastbourne to the South Hampshire Reform community. And we had a spectacular location. We're at the Portsmouth Guildhall, but driving down the coast, it looks quite easy on the map, but when you actually have to do the driving, Linda was driving, it was quite unpleasant, stuck in traffic jams all the way along the coast, it seemed. But the funny thing, it's not particularly funny. I think I realised there weren't hilarious moments around some of the Sederim I'd taken, unfortunately. But the location, I suppose, of Eastbourne's Sederim, they say CTK. Because they don't really want to say that it's a Christ the King, because their Seder takes place in the church hall of the Catholic Church at the end of the promenade at Eastbourne, and the church are very good. They give them the space for nothing, or at least they used to, and so there was no shortage of priests and vicars. But that's the location. We'd moved from the Women's Royal Voluntary Service to Christ the King, CTK. And I think they're still having their services there. So there was a fair amount of rearranging before it was a kosher enough space, including removing things from walls and so on, and carefully putting them away and bringing them back out at the end. So we left it as we found it. But it was always nice. one or two ups and downs, but it was a nice experience doing those Sederim with Eastbourne. And since then, I've been at South London. This is my 5th tonight, but only my second on Zoom. And but you were at South Bucks for some time, Rachel, weren't you?
I was at South Bucks for a number of years. Yeah, in fact, I haven't even tried to count how many Sederim I've done, including Seders and model Seders with tiny tots all the way through to doing model Seders in different churches. They've always been really, really interesting. And actually one of the things that I miss, because on Zoom, it's quite hard to get a conversation going, I think, for a Seder, especially because we have to really limit the time, because people can only really, take so much on a screen, I think. Yeah. So we were aiming to do the first part of our service last night in half an hour, 45 minutes max. Well, we failed, I have to say. Be warned for tonight, Kevin. But I think we got it done within an hour, so that was pretty good. And the second part was very quick. But the most amazing Seder I've been to recently was actually last weekend, when our Cheder had RJY come and do a chocolate Seder with the kids, and there were 230 screens, and wow. It was quite extraordinary. I mean, I had to do a class after that, and the kids were bouncing off the walls. Every section of the Seder had some element of chocolate in it.
Well, I'm not sure how tonight's going to go, but there was a request, one or two requests, that we make things a bit shorter, because I think we had about 2 hours before the meal, and it felt like it anyway by the end. So we're aiming for an hour before the meal, half an hour for the meal, and half an hour afterwards. But I've told people not to bank on it. I'll do my best, because it's hard to abridge something. I've got an idea how long it lasts if you do everything. So we're starting at the other end of the book and interspersing those texts with texts from the full version at the other end. We'll just have to see how it goes, because there'll be some people that would like a long Seder, but I think it did feel a bit too long last year. What tends to happen at South London, in my experience as well, is that people, if they've got a song they want to sing, and I've planned a different song, they're going to sing it, and weight of numbers means that will be the song that is heard, which I quite like. We do have an extraordinary song, which is normally led by Lara and Jane, but they're not here to give us a bit of it. But it is something else. I've never heard it anywhere else. If anyone was brave enough to give us a few bars, because I tend to blot it out of my memory from year to year, but then it comes back. It's actually good fun.
What is it? Is it one of the songs we know?
It is the I Know One song.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Linda's going to give us a rendition tonight. Maybe it's the same one.
It is. I know. Is it?
Yeah. Linda? Who knows? I know one. One is Hashem. One is Hashem. One is Hashem. In the heaven and the earth. Ooh ah. Ooh ah ah. Say ooh ah ah ah.
That's the one. That's it.
Who knows 10? I know 10. 10 are the commandments. And it goes on. Adrian and Lindsay, I can see laughing, because they probably remember Janet Burden teaching us that.
Okay.
And I remember doing it with your son as well at the communal Seder.
Oh yeah, well he did it last night at our communal Seder as well, and I normally do it, but I let him do it this year.
Now, I'm looking around, but that's the one. My Linda is on the settee, and she's also nodding. So well, that's it. We do an extraordinary Chad Gadya, but I don't think Jeremy's here to do that. I don't think he's here anyway.
You do it with the noises, the animal noises. And
we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. So it's so we're all looking forward to it, but I think on Zoom we haven't abridged much this year. I know there were lots of different versions of High Holy Day services and the like going around liberal Judaism and liberal rabbis, but we decided not to. And generally, I think people may disagree, but they haven't openly. We've found that we haven't needed to abridge as much as all that. So it does mean that we've spent considerable amount of time online. My eyesight's deteriorated this year. I don't know about you. My prescription's changed, but that might have happened anyway.
Well, I think too much screen time.
But I think we've done marvelously well, though, as communities, to actually blossom in some ways at a time when we've all struggled in other ways, and And we've escaped tragedy too in terms of the virus, which is also quite something from our point of view.
Yeah.
But not an easy year.
No, it's not been. I wanted to mention a couple of rituals actually. One of which is my absolute favourite at a communal Seder, but we're not going to be able to do it tonight because of being on Zoom. But it was Rabbi Harold Schulweiss. I lived in LA for 10 years, for those of you who didn't know. And he taught us that when you fill Elijah's cup, you pass it round so that everyone fills up Elijah's cup from their own glass of wine. And it's effective in a communal Seder. It's not that effective if there's only 2 of you at home. It doesn't get very full. But I think it's a lovely ritual, and it relates to me to that whole idea of the messianic age that we all are responsible for bringing about. And that book that I mentioned in Kahila that Adrian reminded me the other day, that's on my bookshelf, it's called There Is No Messiah and You're It. So it's about how we're all responsible for bringing on a time of harmony and peace sometime in the future. The other custom that is one of my favorites, and again, you can't really do it when it's just 2 of you at home or just a family, or I suppose maybe you can, but it's good in a bigger setting when you've got guests or in a communal Seder. My grandfather, who sadly I never knew, my paternal grandfather, he was a rabbi in all but name, in South London actually, Wimbledon I think it was, and he, at the beginning of every Seder, he used to accidentally knock over his cup of wine on the white tablecloth, so that anyone else, if they happened to do that themselves during the Seder, would not feel uncomfortable.
Oh, how did that go down at home?
I think that's a really special thing to do, actually.
Did I just say don't try that at home? That's my advice to everyone.
Well, don't do it on your computer.
Yeah.
And you told us that there was a connection between your grandfather and South London's founding minister.
Oh yes, that's right. Sammy Rich, Rabbi Sammy Rich, and my grandfather Joe Benjamin, both taught at the Jews Free School.
So we had a photograph on the front of our recent magazine with, we wouldn't dare to call him Sammy Rich, I don't think, even though he's been gone for over half a century, Samuel Morris Rich. And he was our lay minister for 20 years. And during the war, he took over more or less everything as other people were no longer around. They'd gone off to war, I presume. But yeah, that's right. That's a nice connection. And as I was saying to Rachel, we're actually preparing for a KT service in May. One of the 2 KT students is his great-great-granddaughter. So we've managed 5 generations of the same family at the synagogue, which is probably as much as you can do in a movement that only stretches back to 1902. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I said, Rachel, I think maybe we're drawing to a close, but I said at the end of my e-bulletin, together on Zoom this year and together in person next year. And I think that's what we all hope for each other and for all our communities.
Absolutely, please God. And for us at Mosaic Liberal, it has a very much of an added resonance, because on Tuesday we have our decommissioning service of the building that the Reform community have been in for 60 years and we've been in for 10. So it's very symbolic to be doing this in Pesach, to be emptying out the building, to be walking the scrolls out and literally sort of going out into our own wilderness until the new building on Stanmore Hill is completed. We hope April next year. So both lockdown and new building figure largely this Pesach for us.
It's quite something to have left the building and then not to return when no one could have known that. But we wish you well for Tuesday. I will try to join on Zoom and watch, although I wasn't quite there when you moved in. It wasn't too long before I came along. So and there's a little bit, of course, of Harrow and Wembley, Mosaic Liberal at South London, and we'll be really a wonderful day to have you all over when it's safe to do so, so we can come together in the sanctuary together at Prentice Road.
We look forward to that, and then we look forward to welcoming you to the new building.
That'll be great. Thanks very much. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Thanks, Nathan. So shall I hand over to you for the concluding part of our service now?
Yes. Okay. So we're on 520 for Elaine in that case. Page 520. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו.
ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלך המלכים הקדוש 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 ברוך הוא.
שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, מושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגותי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבותה אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. Trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our hearts and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend, and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honor. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. For ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever.
ונאמר בחיה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Got to have the book ready, but I've been able to grab it because everything's within reach. So if you'll bear with me for a moment, I'm going to read a meditation before Kaddish, which is by Rabbi Sheila Schulman. And here it is. We recognize that each of us is not so much a person as a world, or rather the bearer in her or his self of a world, a unique, irreplaceable, populated world, linked by a myriad threads to other such worlds. And if when someone dies who has been a part of our life, there is a rent in the universe, like a star vanishing, but that like a star vanishing, that world leaves ineradicable traces in us, as a star does in space, so that we mourn, but we remember, and we know that there will be a living trace of that person in our consciousness always. And I think today, on a festival day, we have people in mind, I'm sure, but let's turn to Kaddish on page 524, and we often unmute ourselves so we can actually hear one another at Kaddish. It's going to be out of sync, but that doesn't seem to matter. So can I invite people to unmute? And let's say together, יתגדל ויתקדש שם רבה, בעלמא דברך
יכול וביום יכול, חיה בכל בית ישראל, בהגלה ובזמן פרי, אמן. שמי רבה מברך עולם ושמיה, ישתבח ויתברך ויתרומם ויתנשא, יתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קדושה בריך, אלא מלכתה ושירתה, במירן בפעמה ובמחנה,
כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן.
Let's mute again. I think that's what it sounds like in a stibble, doesn't it? A little bit of that, I think, doesn't hurt. And I think Joseph, it's over to you for Adon I think that's what we said we'd do.
Could I, before Adon Olam, I would just like to really say a massive thank you for Rachel and Nathan for the collaborative service. And it really was inspiring and uplifting. I was sort of reflecting on our normal first day of Pesach service, where I think the congregations, the rabbi, the chorister, maybe one or two sort of people who actually make the effort to see over 40 screens is really, really heartening. And I really feel that I don't think there's a north-south divide between us. Each service or each kind of conversation, we establish more connections. So, and I really am hoping for the day when, and I will make the effort, and hopefully more of us, where we can actually be in the same actual building together. That's the day. I'm not going to sort of announce sort of future services. There is a lot going on, but just to remind, the communal Seder tonight starts at 6 p.m. And can you ignore the timetable, because I'm convinced it's not going to work. It's a rough estimate. We'll try our best, but there's a lot to cram in. But we'll do what we can, and I'm sure it'll be a lovely evening. And don't forget all your sort of symbols. Try to be creative if you can. That's me done for announcements.
And Kevin, can I just remind people that it'd be really good if you could log on at 5:45 so that we can start promptly at 6 o'clock.
And don't crash halfway through the service as well. It happens.
No, so
any other announcements? Oh, Nathan.
Thanks, Kevin. On behalf of all of us, thanks very much for having us. We've really enjoyed it. It's very nice. And we're the same, if especially on a weekday. If the first day of the service falls on a weekday, unless it's Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, it's going to be small. So to see so many faces and so many faces I know and we're all getting to know is really, really very nice. So thanks a lot. And I just want to say we are at 6:30. And can you come in for 6:15, please? So that's for SWLS members. 6:30, but please be there for 6:15. We are starting at 6:30, even if it's just a few of us. We're going to start at 6:30, so don't miss the start. And we're aiming for an hour before the meal, and then half an hour after. But like with you, we'll do our best. So have something that you can warm up. It isn't going to have to be timed to the minute. Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Nathan. And thank you so much for today. It's been lovely working with you, and look forward to more collaboration in the future.
Thank you very much.
We're not going to finish with Adon Olam, actually. Do you need to make me host again, Kevin? Co-host, I mean, sorry. Oh, no, there we are. I am. So Joseph has chosen a special song.
Thank you, Rachel. So this is it's a sort of modern Yiddish song which takes as its basis the Echad Miyodeh, who knows one song, and takes it in a different direction. I thought it would be a nice different thing. You're unlikely to know it, but hopefully you sort of sing along to the tune at home on mute, if not the words. Yai da 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 da, echad mi yodea, echad mi yodea, Yai da 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 da, echad ani yodea, echad ani yodea. Yai da 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 da, ich fast kann ich leben, echad mi yodea. Yai da 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 da, ich kenn seine Maimen, echad ani yodea. Ja, da, 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 die Nest von Sommer sprenkeln und die Neige weiten von den alten Bäumen. Ja, da, da, die Finkel von mein Tränen, echad ani mamino. Ai, 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 die scharfen Leid von der echten Liebe, ani, odeo, kein Leube gesangen vor die Gräber, ani, mamino, da beginnt was öffnen, kleure Augen, oi, kein sein, die ersten Regen, was schaffen, legen, abi, ani, mamino, ai, 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 ein Schorstig Stück auf der Weg, Wunder, gerade ni, odeo, der blutige Rot von gesprochener Fleuhen, ani, mamino, beginn was öffnen, kleine Augen, oi, kein sein, die ersten Reges verschaffen Leben, ani, mamino.
Yasher koach.
Indeed, Yasher koach. Thank you so much, Joseph, and thank you for all the music through the service. Absolutely lovely. So I think we're going to go straight to Kiddush. If you want to follow it, it's on page 575. All my Kiddush things are downstairs, so I'm going to have to imagine that they're in my hand.
Harry, is Harry there? Yeah, Harry.
Yes, Harry's going to
He's
scramble.
logged on. That's just reassuring.
Thank you. And some bit of matzah as well, that'd be good. Actually, yes, before Harry manages to bring that upstairs, I wanted to share something with you earlier in the service, actually, because we had the Haftarah reading, which I missed, I'm so sorry, from the prophet Isaiah. And I just want you to imagine for a moment what the prophet Isaiah would look like if he were here today. So any thoughts, anyone? And let me share this with you, and then you can see if this matches.
Oh, oh dear.
I love that picture. We took it when we were on a rabbinic kala, and we went for a lovely walk, and we walked into a church, and so Nathan went up onto the pulpit, and he was
Never, never, never.
Oh God, you could even mum to laugh at that.
I wondered where I forgot about that picture because Rachel said, "Would you mind if I showed it?" And I said, "No, not at all." And then I forgot all about it, and I thought, "What would Isaiah look like?" I shouldn't realise it was going to.
He might have looked like that, I think.
He might have, yeah.
A bit fire and brimstone.
Yeah, it's been a bit like that. The rabbinic conference in the last year or so. I had something to show as well, which I've sat all the way through talking about Eastbourne. After my fifth and final Seder with them, they gave me a very nice present made by a local artist, and you won't be able to guess what's in it, I don't think. It's a deconstructed Havdalah's box, a spice box. So I'll open it. And
oh, it's beautiful.
Wow, look at that.
Really beautiful.
Very nice, isn't it?
Yes, that's gorgeous. Is that painted on the top? Is it?
It's kind of, yeah, it is, with little spots of paint.
Enamel paint. Oh, it's beautiful. That is absolutely gorgeous.
That was nice to receive.
Okay, so we're on page 575. Ele moadei Adonai mikra'ei kodesh asher tikra'u otam b'moadam. These are the appointed seasons of the Eternal One, the days of public worship, which you shall proclaim at their appointed times. V'yidaber Moshe et moadei Adonai el b'nei Israel. And Moses announced the appointed seasons of the Eternal One to the people of Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
L'chaim, everybody. And thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. There we go. Chag Sameach, everybody.
Yeah.
And I hope the communal seders go well. The communal
But
seder goes well.
Brother Race will beat you.
Yeah, we'll see who gets
We did
meal
Stevenage's
first.
We did
And-
Stevenage's last night in an hour for the first half, slightly under.
We will do it. We will do it.
Linda, it's nice to see you on screen at last.
Hello,
Chag Sameach.
Linda.
I can't sit beside him, there's not enough space.
Oh, you can sit on his lap.
Whoa.
We're not that liberal.
A big thank you to Rachel and to Nathan for a very inspiring and fun service. It was really lovely, memorable. Thank you. And Chag Sameach to Linda. Hello.
Hello.
And what a lovely idea the rabbinic conversation was about Pesach.
I hope it was. I hope so. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, it's always nice to know what people think of something new. So answers on a postcard is probably the best way to do it.
Nathan, I wrote in the chat, but you probably didn't see it. You actually did a High Holy Day service at Stevenage. So just to remind you of that.
Oh, right. Right. I'll remember. Yeah, that was remarkable for. Well, we were in the back room of a house that had once belonged to Oliver Cromwell's spymaster.
Yeah, the Cromwell Hotel.
And there was a glitter ball, like on Strictly Come Dancing, above my head through the service, and that was quite something as well. That was Erev Rosh Hashanah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then I went up to Lincoln to do their morning service. Yeah,
That was a long drive.
it was a long drive.
I'm a long drive.
And Danny Richard said, "No, it's just up the road. You'll be fine. Do that on the way." He said,
2 hours away.
We're still driving 2 hours later.
Yeah,
Where is
it was a very, very late night.
Yeah.
It was-
My daughter used to live in Lincoln, so I know what the drive is like.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I remember you.
That was the first year that it was the beginning of your first year as a student rabbi. You weren't even in the college before you had that.
No, that was a little bit earlier. That I was at Lincoln as cantor before I started at the college, and then I just started and got sent to Southport for Yom Kippur in a Reform synagogue with a
You had to
different.
compare everything before you'd even stepped into the college.
Yeah, that was
great fun.
They were very nice, fortunately, and they had me back the next year when I sort of knew what I was doing.
Well, I have to say
I'm going
my
to say goodbye to everybody and see you this evening. Thank you.
Go to the sticks, everybody.
Sorry, Linda.
I was going to say, I have to say my claim to fame is when my daughter was at Lincoln, and Gershon Sillens was doing the services there, and they filmed for can't remember the name of the film now, but some famous person, and they filmed in Lincoln. So me and my daughter are actually on the film. So,
They're a lovely community up there.
yeah, my claim to fame. Back the only 2 times I was actually in Jew's house in Lincoln.
Well timed.
Hello, Nathan's Linda. Lovely to meet you.
Hello.
Is your husband still in cyberspace, or is he just downstairs?
Next door.
He's there. He's got a screen of his own.
Oh,
there.
right. Okay.
Harry.
All right. Hello, Harry. Nice to meet you.
You're muted, Harry. You're muted.
Is that? Are you happy with that?
Chag Sameach, everybody.
Chag Sameach. See you tonight.
See you tonight.
Chag Sameach. See you tonight.
Bye.
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 Thanks, Joseph.
Thank you again, Joseph.
Bye, Mika.
And Mika.
And
Bye,
Mika,
bye,
thank you,
Mika.
Mika, as well. What a lovely.
Bye to everybody. Come say bye-bye.
See you, Janet.
Bye, bye, Mika.
Someone's getting big.
No.
There
The one's getting huge, Joseph.
Yes.
The little one's getting really
Yeah,
big.
2.5. Yeah. Time flies in lockdown. Bye.
Janet, do you want to say something? Janet wants to say something. Bye-bye.
No, that's all. Just once again, lovely seeing you sort of through the screen, and
I'm
again,
trying to talk went down during the service, so I'm hoping we'll be all right for tonight. And I've just been told it's unstable again. Talk is unstable, so am I. So have a nice restful afternoon. Thank you, rabbis. It was a lovely service.
Thanks, Janet.
Thanks, Janet.
And Kev, I think you better.
Whoops.
Oh.
I better. I will never know what I better do.
Whoops.
Something rude. I really don't know.
I think you removed her. You weren't taking.
I haven't touched her. Fill in the missing words. Kevin, you better. That's something for me to think about.
I know when Linda was reading the Torah translation, she disappeared. I kept on reading for her, thinking that I was in this conversation, and I suddenly realised actually everything's gone.
Yeah, we kind of like lost the screen.
Yeah. Oh, you poor.
But then Nathan managed to share it, so I think I was on verse 8, so we managed to carry on.
That's never happened before.
Bye-bye, Vivek. Bye-bye, John. Bye-bye.
I think what Janet was going to say is, because she's doing some readings this evening, is to get someone to replace her. I'm sure that's what she was going to say. You better get somebody else.
Well, we'll do it this evening.
We'll find a way. Or I better do. I really don't know. I'm going to look at it positively. I'm sure it's nothing rude.
Let's hope that she's on. Let's hope that I'm on.
You're on every this is it. This is what we're reliant on. But listen, I'm gonna get some fresh air now.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely seeing you again, Nathan, and Linda, of course.
Good to see you.
See you
again.
soon. Take care, bye.
Rachel, do you want to have a 2-minute post-match debrief? Or
What I'll do, I'll make you host.
All right, thanks.
Make you host, Nathan. Okay, because if I end it. Okay, so you're now the host. You've got the power. So
See you tonight, John.
Okay, bye, Linda. See you later.
Bye, Linda. See you again.
Bye. I'm going to remove iPad. I don't know who that is, but I'm going to remove them. Hang on a sec. There we go.
All right, yeah, because the unseen people.
I don't know who they are.
I'm sorry I came in on your last bit of that echo thing. I just
oh no, it's fine.
It threw me because it was just how it looked on the page. I don't know enough. I thought that worked. It's a really nice melody. I'm going to teach that tomorrow. Maybe we'll do that tonight. It's very nice.
It's lovely to do it with a congregation, actually.
Yeah. I think it all went very well. I'm very happy. So
losing my internet.
Well, it's happened to me once only, but you can never tell, when it's going to strike. So in fact, I carried on the service for some time, and someone rang me up. I thought, who's ringing me during a blooming service? It was Jeffrey. I thought, why is Jeffrey ringing me in the end? I thought, I better see what he wants. Because I realised that they'd all gone, and I'd just been going on for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we managed to get them all back. We were on YouTube then. We got them all back on Zoom, where we had Kiddush at that time. We got most of them back, and we carried on. But it happens sometimes. There's nothing you can do, is there, really?
No,
But,
I just realised that the live streaming is still on, and I don't know how to turn it off.
let's see.